You see this all the time from the gun-grabbing politicians in Florida. When will enough be enough, they say. The fake news media's liberal hack reporters are always whining the same thing. The lawmakers haven't gone far enough to pass more gun control laws. But here's a better question. When will they, meaning the fake news, the radical left, the Marxists, legislators, all of them, when will they take responsibility for burning down their own cities, for wrecking their own communities, and dismantling the cultural foundations that once held this country together? Because this kind of media coverage isn't about stopping violence. It's never been about that. It's about shifting the blame. It's about covering up the consequences of decades of failed leftist policy and pinning it on the gun-owning middle class like you and me. Of course, you watch them, they just love to rattle off numbers like, and terminology like gun-related deaths in Florida. Thousands per year, they say, as if the gun is somehow to blame. But I don't know if you've ever noticed this as well, but they never define that term. They never define that term. They don't tell you that it includes suicides. They don't tell you that includes justified self-defense. They don't tell you that it includes criminals shot by police, and they certainly don't want to talk about gang violence in Democrat-run cities. Why? Well, because then the truth would be obvious. You're not allowed to say what we all know. You're not allowed to notice and articulate that the real crisis isn't about guns. It's about broken homes and absent fathers and failed schools and a total collapse of personal responsibility. But the left doesn't want to fix any of that. Their policies caused all of that. Instead, they come after your rights and your freedom, pretending that the Constitution is the problem, that you and me as bitter clingers are the problem. And they pretend that their policies have made everything just honky-dory. They hide behind these phrases like gun violence because it's intentionally vague. But I like to use the term elastic. They love these elastic terms that stretch and fit their agenda. That lets them make you the villain and them the saviors, so that they can grab more power, pass more restrictions, and keep expanding government control over every part of your life. So, as Joe Biden used to say, let me be clear, this fight was never just about background checks or waiting periods. It's not about bump stocks or magazine limits. It's not even about self-defense. This fight is about who holds the power in this country. You see, a lot of our schools don't teach this stuff anymore, so it bears repeating. After all, my mom always said, repetition is the key to learning. The Second Amendment was written to restrict government, not to regulate citizens. It's not a hunting license. It's not about target shooting. It's about sovereignty. It's about making sure that we, the people, remain armed, not just against criminals, but against tyranny, if it ever dares raise its head. And we've seen a lot of that in the last 4 or 5 years. But history has proven the founders right in their actions of codifying the Second Amendment into the Bill of Rights. In the 20th century alone, we don't have to look back very far. I was born in the 20th century. In the 20th century alone, conservative estimates put it at a very bare minimum of 45 million innocent people that were murdered, slaughtered by their own governments after they were disarmed. That is the future that the left is steering us towards. A country where only the government and criminals have the weapons. A country where law-abiding citizens are forced to beg for the rights that they were born with and endowed with by their almighty creator. Now, we will not live in that country. So if you're watching this right now, just understand this isn't about compromise. It's not about meeting in the middle. It's about whether our kids grow up free or grow up owned by a government that fears nothing because the people no longer have the means to resist. We're not asking, and we're not apologizing, and we're not backing down. We are armed, we are awake, and we refuse to let cultural Marxists, elitist control freaks, and power drunk tyrants define this fight. Stay armed, stay free, and I'll see you on the front lines.